Now here we are going to discuss about Cripps Mission. Failure of Cripps Mission led to Quit India movement. So let me talk about Cripps Mission here. And what is the context of Cripps Mission? I've told you first 9 months setbacks. So came up with August offer. That 1939 to 1942, if you remember, I've told you during this phase, the Axis powers were emerging as victorious. So I told you already Japan was able to capture Korea, eastern part of China, and they have reached Burma also. And they were making so much problems in Burma. So the British forces in Burma were facing setbacks, and that led to gradual withdrawal of British force also from Burma. So a British invasion of India was seemed imminent at this point of time. So British government was worried about this. So they are now in need of support of Congress and Indians. So they came up with Cripps Mission under Stafford Cripps. So under what conditions? There is a condition 1942, Japan emerging victorious in this area, British forces facing major setbacks, a British invasion of India was imminent, seemed imminent, so they came up with Cripps Mission. Okay, so let me now talk about Cripps Mission under Stafford Cripps. Stafford Cripps. Okay, so what are the provisions under this? The first one, as I've already told you, the Constituent Assembly after the war. Okay, so it will be only Indians, solely of Indians. Then second one was Dominion status. Third one was those provinces, if they don't want to join with the Indian Union, they can remain as a separate union. Okay, so that was the third provision. So let me write down these three provisions. So Constituent Assembly would be set up once the war gets over. It will be solely of Indians. So this has to be very clear to you. The main difference, there it was mainly, here it is solely, but Constituent Assembly was common. Second point, Dominion status, same thing. Third one, those provinces which do not want to join Indian Union could form a union of their own. Okay, so these are the 3 points which was in Cripps Mission that you need to remember. So if you get a question like this, which among the following is correct with respect to Cripps Mission? Constituent Assembly solely of Indians, correct. Dominion status, yes, correct. Now instead of this, I can give you another statement, right to secede. Okay, so right to secede, is it correct? Yes, it is correct, because this talking about right for secession. That means if you don't want to join India, you can remain as a separate union. That means it was given the right to secede or right to secession. So Jawaharlal Nehru actually argued that this will lead to balkanization of country, and because of these two, it was rejected by Congress. Dominion status anyway was not accepted by Congress. This was also not accepted by Congress. Because of this, Cripps Mission was rejected. There is no problem with the first one. Constituent Assembly would be set up after the war. That was actually the resolution passed in Varda session, and it should be solely of Indians, only Indians. That is actually good only. So there is no problem with respect to the first one. But Dominion status and right to secession was not accepted by Congress, and Cripps Mission was rejected on the ground of that. And rejection of Cripps Mission led to Quit India movement. And when we talk about Quit India movement, it was started in August 8, and in August 9 itself, all the major Congress leaders were imprisoned. The main leader was actually Gandhi. Gandhi was declared as the leader, and in Quit India movement, they gave a call for do or die. That means there is no true struggle strategy which is going to happen now. Only struggle victory strategy. This is going to be the last movement, and there won't be any further mass movement after this. So do or die call was given, and it was actually a violent movement. And August 9, the next day, all the major leaders were arrested. So the responsibility of leading this movement was left out with the middle level leadership like Aruna Asaf Ali, Usha Mehta, Kripalani. Okay, let me write about Quit India movement. So Quit India movement 1942. So August 8, 1942, launched from Bombay. Movement was launched from Bombay. Who was the leader? Gandhi was declared as the leader and gave a call for do or die. And August 9, what happened? The top leaders of Congress were arrested. Top leaders of Congress arrested. Okay. Now you can see boycott of British goods, liquor, picketing, and all those were the strategies. Boycott British goods. Okay, liquor shops picketed. Okay, so the responsibility of leading the movement was in the hands of middle level leadership. So the main leaders were Aruna Asaf Ali, Sucheta Kripalani, Usha Mehta, etc. Okay, so what is the significance of this? This was the largest movement so far, and that is what we have discussed when we discussed about each movement. During the time of Swadeshi movement, that was the largest at that time. The non-cooperation movement, that was the largest at that time. Civil disobedience movement, at that time, that was the largest. Now this is the largest mass movement, and women contribution was so high here, and it was not the major leaders. You can see new face in the leadership of Congress during this movement, and it gave a call for do or die, and it was a violent movement, a mass upsurge, you can see. Okay, and simultaneously INA also we will discuss 1942. Quickly I'll discuss about INA trial we will have to do separately. So INA, how INA forces was formed. Actually, you know, when Japan captured Burma, when they reached Burma, British forces withdrawn from Burma, so Indian soldiers were left out there. So Indian soldiers were actually imprisoned by the Japanese forces, and one of the soldier, Mohan Singh, gave promise to the Japanese that, you know, they will help to overthrow British from India along with Japanese soldiers or with Japanese help. Okay, so around 15,000 Indian soldiers was there. With these 15,000 soldiers, INA was formed, and they actually reached eastern part of India, and along with Japanese forces and INA together fought a battle with English. And the speciality of that battle was that the only one war which was fought in India was that one. What was that? Battle of Kohima. So this was the only one war which was fought in India during World War II. It was between Japanese and English, along with Japanese forces, along with INA army. Okay, there was some problems, like Japanese soldiers started treating Indian soldiers secondary, and that led to a lot of discontentment among the Indian army. And also there was a thinking among the INA people that, you know, what will happen once British were overthrown from India, whether Japanese invasion is going to happen or not is a question. And Japanese people were more cruel than British. Okay, so that was again a big question. And in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose actually assumed the leadership of INA, and he formed a provincial Indian government in Rangoon. Okay, so provincial Indian government in Rangoon by Subhash Chandra Bose. He landed in Andaman and unfurled the Indian flag, and provincial government was formed. Okay, so landed in Andaman, unfurled Indian flag. Okay, and Bose also clarified that Subhash Chandra Bose and INA will come to India only with the, you know, consent of the Congress, only under the leadership of Congress and Gandhi. And after 1943, Japanese forces started facing major setbacks, and Japanese army actually withdrawn from eastern part of India. So these INA army was left out in the eastern part of India. They were captured by the British and they were put on trial, and that's what the famous INA trial. We will be discussing this in a separate discussion. Next video I'll be talking about INA trial. INA trial and Rin mutiny we will discuss separately. Okay, because this is a possible mains question, INA. And we will see the Congress leaders who defended the case, the INA victims who tried publicly, and INA week celebration, INA day, all those things, and how it connected with emotions of the people at that time, and how INA led to, you know, Rin mutiny. All these things we will discuss in the next video. So I hope this is clear for all of you. So if the question is asked about, you know, impact of World War II on Indian freedom struggle, that we are actually addressing this particular question, discuss the impact of, you know, World War II on Indian freedom struggle. You have to talk about August offer, you have to talk about Cripps Mission, all are connected to INA, Rin Mutiny, the Cabinet Mission Plan, Wavell Plan, everything is actually connected with World War II. As I've told you already, why August offer came, because you need the support of Indian troops involvement or Congress. Okay, and for that, after 9 months, British government realized that they are going to face major setbacks and this war is going to be a long-term affair. So you need the support of Congress, so they came up with August offer. Why in 1942 Cripps Mission came? Again, they are facing the same problem. 1942, they're facing the problem. Later, Wavell Plan. Why? Under the pressure of US. Because again, even though US managed Japan, but still Germany surrendered, but still Japanese forces are still there. Okay, so we'll come to that in the next video.